I knew nothing about Belgrade, which is why I had to go. I hadn't seen any photos, hadn't researched anything, and I didn't know what to expect. I could enter this country with fresh eyes and capture it as I saw it. What I saw really impressed me. Incredibly detailed churches, a historic fortress, a bustling shopping district, and a vibrant waterfront. Though I didn't have time to leave the capital, there was an old fishing village just a few miles away, which gave me a more traditional taste for Serbia to complement the modern cityscape. All in all, Belgrade really surprised me, and I have to put it near the top of my list of Balkan cities. This is how I spent my time there.
Well, miss, I guess I'll be on my way now.
Good morning, guys. Welcome to Belgrade, Serbia. It's about 6:30 in the morning. I just took an overnight bus from Munich, Germany, so pretty tired, but there's going to be some nice light and quiet streets, so I'm going to go for a little bit of a walk this morning and check out this new country and new city. Alright, so not too far from where I'm staying is Republic Square, which is this big kind of open plaza area. We have the National Library here, the National Museum, and we have a statue of an old Prince of Serbia. From here, a bunch of the walking streets start with lots of cafes and restaurants, so I'm going to go check that out. It was a really nice walk down the kind of main walking street here, but I've walked all the way down to the street and gotten to the fortress over here, which is definitely, I think, going to be one of the highlights here in Belgrade, so I'll do it later this afternoon once things open up a little bit more. Alright, at the edge of town here, before you get to the fortress, there's just this like beautiful park here. There's some nice fountains, nice trees, a bunch of statues, and it looks like there's a bit of an overlook over here. Alright, so from the edge of the fortress here, you can kind of look out over the river onto the other side. There's just a couple skyscrapers way out there, mixed with these old ones right here, and some old churches, and then there's all these like houseboat and restaurant boats along the river that you can see from here. And again, I'm going to come out here and check out more of the fortress later, but I'm just kind of going for a morning walk here. I need a coffee. I haven't slept in like a day. I love like cute European coffee shops, just looking out on the street. After grabbing a coffee, I walked by an exchange and got some Serbian dinar. So check out this dinar. It's about 120 Serbian dinar to a US dollar. So right near where I'm staying is Skadar Hila, which is kind of like the Bohemian district here. It's this nice cobblestone street. There's a lot of artwork, a lot of like really cute cafes and breweries, and it just has a little bit more of like an artsy vibe. So I'm sure in the afternoon, evening, this will be like a very lively place to come get dinner, get a drink. Alright guys, so just checked into my hostel and it's raining a bit, but one of the first things I want to do is go check out the Temple of Saint Sava, which is one of the largest Orthodox churches here. It's about a 1.5 mile walk from the Republic Square. Alright, so just a block from the assembly building there is St. Mark's Orthodox Cathedral. We're going to go see the biggest church in Serbia, but this is one of the biggest churches, and I haven't seen a Serbian Orthodox. I'm assuming it's similar to a lot of other Eastern Orthodox churches, but let's just go in and see what this one looks like inside. beautiful. Had this very like minimalistic, simple design. The dome was really high. Then there was just these beautiful golden mosaics at the front and some of the altars, so really pretty. Just behind St. Mark's is the Serbia Radio and Television Center, and I won't be the best at explaining this fully, but during the war in Serbia in the 90s, NATO bombed a couple of the buildings here. The government has just kind of left these scars of war here as just a reminder of some of the devastation that was done during the war in the 90s. So on a slightly happier note, I'm walking through a park and I hear some lively music and see some colorful dancing, so let's go see what this is all about. Wow, that was so cool. I seem to always find some cool cultural dancing when I'm traveling. So it looks like there's some sort of festival, maybe a bee festival. So it's the opening day of the honey festival here, and so I'm sampling some forest honey. That was awesome. I'm gonna keep going to Saint Sava Temple. Alright, looks like I can finally see Saint Sava down this road. I've just made it to Saint Sava, and it is pretty massive. And it's actually modeled after the Hagia Sophia in Istanbul, but it's been quite the work in progress. They started building it in 1935, and then because of the war, all construction was delayed, and then it was used for various storage and other facilities for the longest time. And then in the 80s, they restarted the construction, and they're just finishing up in the next year or two. It is one of the biggest Orthodox cathedrals in the world, and there's supposedly some amazing tiles on the inside. So I'm excited to go in, so let's go check it out. Wow, that was beautiful inside. So much gorgeous, like detailed mosaic, and like the whole thing was just covered in gold. Really worth checking it out. It's free. Walking past this bakery, and there was a line like out the door, down the block, and so I jumped in line, and it looked so good. It's this like pie with like a really flaky crust with ham and cheese in it, so. Here's some more scars from the NATO bombing in the 90s, kind of near some government buildings. On my walk back to the old town, there's this like local market I'm gonna go check out. That was a cool local farmers market. It's called Palaka Zeleni or something like that. It's kind of near the center of town, but I got this peach for about 40 cents. So, alright guys, so now that I'm back in the old town, I kind of want to head over to the fortress for the afternoon. But there's the oldest restaurant in Belgrade, and I'm not terribly hungry because I've kind of been snacking the whole time, but I want to see what the oldest restaurant in Belgrade is like. So I've just come to Kafana ? And there's this cute little back patio garden area that I'm gonna sit and probably just gonna get like a little snack or something because again I'm so full from all the other stuff. The fortress is just like a block or two away, and then I'll be up in the park and I'm gonna explore the Kalemegdan. The Belgrade Fortress is this naturally fortified peninsula between the Sava and Danube River, and it's been inhabited since the 3rd century BC and has been used by a lot of different civilizations, and so it's kind of like a fortress built upon a fortress built upon a fortress. It was inhabited and used by the Romans at one time, so it's this massive piece of land, and it's just built up on these cliffs above the rivers, so you're just looking out over the water. It's really beautiful. Yeah, there's a lot of different layers to see here, so currently it seems to function as almost just a public park here. There's lots of people just relaxing on benches. There's some sports fields. There's just a lot of green area. I know there's a couple bars and restaurants. There's a zoo somewhere in here. So it's just like a really huge park. If you look at it on a map, it takes up a big chunk of the city here. So yeah, it's just a nice public place for people to just come and hang out, and I believe most of the areas here are free to explore and walk around. This place is just so massive, and it's so fun because you can just find like ruins all to yourself and just like go exploring through the weeds here, and there's like no rules. You can just climb anything you want and just walk around on a castle overlooking the river. It's fun. Wow, just found this really nice kind of secluded view. You climb up this wall and you have this like beautiful ivy. You're looking down on the river, looking back at the city. It's so peaceful up here. It's so beautiful. And I just found 50 dinar on the ground. Score. I just love exploring new places. So I think I'm gonna head down from the fortress now and go check out a little bit of the riverfront. So the waterfront right beneath the fortress here is just lined with all these really nicely designed restaurants. There's like a bike path right here. There's some boats out there that you can dine on. There's boats that are bars across the river. Alright, I was gonna go across the river to fly the drone, but I'm almost wondering if I just fly the drone from right here. I can see the steeple right there, so it'll give me that perspective. It's a wider angle. It might be a cool, unique shot flying over the church. So really cool shots of the church and everything. and it may have even saved me a trip across the river. But I might still just walk on the bridge to kind of see what the view is like from the bridge, but I don't think I need to go all the way over to the other side. I'm just gonna walk across the bridge a little bit and see what my view is like looking back at Belgrade. Alright guys, so I have come all the way across the other side of the river, and I think it was worth it because you can kind of get this reflection of the church and some of the houses on the water a little bit, and got to see these party boats up a little bit closer. So I think I'm gonna put the cameras away pretty soon and just relax and enjoy sunset, maybe go back up to the castle. So I will see you tomorrow. Morning guys, it's my second day here in Belgrade, Serbia, and this morning I'm gonna head to Zemun, which is this kind of older looking town. It's about 4 or 5 miles. You can take a bus there, but I have all day, so I'm gonna go for a walk, and the walk should take me like right along the river, so it should be pretty nice. I've just crossed over the bridge that I went over last night, and now I'm on the other side of the river, and I'm looking back at the old town and the fortress that we were exploring last night. And there's this nice like walking and biking and running path like right along the river. I still have about 3 miles to go to get to Zemun. I love walking, seeing it all, so let's do it. So far, just along the water here is this massive green park with lots of great running trails and biking trails, mostly right along the river there. It's just kind of a nice, peaceful, open space here. And I'm just about 2 miles still from Zemun. Took about an hour and a half to walk here, but I'm finally in the cute little village of Zemun. It's this old fishing town I'm very excited to explore, but first I'm gonna get some lunch, and I'm gonna try out one of these restaurants right along the seaside here. Alright, just finished up lunch on the water there. Now I'm gonna take a little stroll around the old town. Let's see what we find. Alright, so in the center of the town here, there's a bunch of these big like open market squares. It looks like everyone's kind of just shutting down shop a little bit right now, but there's a lot of like fruit stands, everything, and then there's this big church steeple. So the old town really isn't that big here. It's pretty small before you kind of get back out onto like a busy main street. But I'm gonna go get a coffee. So the center of town has that market square and some restaurants, and it's a nice, quaint little area, but it's pretty small. But just a few blocks from the town center here, there's like a hill with a fortress and a tower you can climb. So I want to go up there and get a nice perspective of the town. So from the top of the hill, there's this little lookout area where you can look out over the whole old town of Zemun, and it's very pretty. These beautiful like old tiled roofs. It just has like an older kind of European feel to it, and you can see the modern skyline like way in the background there. And there is still the tower here where you can get a slightly higher viewpoint, so I might go up the tower soon and see what it's like from up there. Alright, so it's just $1.50 to go to the top of the tower, so I think I'm gonna head in there and check it out. Alright, so made it to the top of the tower here, and yeah, it's nice because it gives you just like a 360-degree view of the river here. You can see a little bit more. Alright, so after going up the tower, it was nice to get that different perspective, but now I'm going to fly up the drone and see if I can get the perspective of the tower with the town in the background. So let's check it out. Okay guys, those drone shots were awesome. I am so glad I live in a world of aerial photography and videography, and that it's so easy. And yeah, it was amazing to get that shot with the tower and the rest of the town in the background, and then just like fly over the city. It was amazing. So reward myself with that good drone footage with some gelato, and it could be like one of the last summer days I have since I'm going to Poland tomorrow. So cheers to that drone shot. Alright guys, so that was 2 days in Belgrade for you, and of course I'm sure there's so much more to do in Belgrade, and I would love to explore more of the country of Serbia, but I think exploring like the city center of Belgrade and then coming out here to the old town of Zemun gave me kind of a small town Serbia feel and the big city. And anyways, I'm off to Poland tomorrow, so we'll see you in Poland. Oh guys, so there's one last thing I want to show you in Belgrade before I head to Poland. I was walking back to town and there's this beautiful like skyrise building kind of above the old town. It's a little bit further away, so I never went there yesterday, but it's right on the river as I'm walking back. So I just wanted to show you Belgrade Tower. It's this beautiful kind of round, it's kind of bulkier on the top and gets skinny at the bottom. It's a very interesting building, so check that out. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you in Poland.